I was very blessed to grow up in a Christian home and to get to know God my whole life. I feel like from a young age, I kind of, what I would consider, had a little bit of like a gift of faith. Like I had a special relationship with God as a child. But I always had this lingering, deep loneliness that I feel like I carried with me my whole life. I think that a lot of times when you have those lonely feelings and you experience rejection from Christians or from churches, you tend to think of that rejection as being from God, which in my opinion, I feel like has become the most painful feeling that you can experience. When I was 19, I had a cluster of circumstances that just kind of brought me to a point where I couldn't do it anymore. I stepped out into the world. The devil doesn't play games. I feel like he lured me in and he destroyed me. The first few years in my 20s, I began drinking very heavily to cope with emotional pain, to cope with different things that had happened. I felt like if I could blame the things that were happening to me on me, then I didn't have to deal with feelings of rejection from God or wondering where he was. And when I was 25, I got really sick out of nowhere. And I can remember laying in my bed and thinking just how ironic it was that I felt like all of the pain that I had felt on the inside, I now felt on the outside. I felt like I had become completely broken in my soul and in my body. I spent years in bed, years wondering if I was going to have a future or what that looked like. Little by little, I felt like God met me where I was at. That lonely feeling that I grew up with, I continued to have, but it was like in that loneliness, in those lonely moments is where God found me. And the more that I submitted to him, the more that I allowed him to put my heart back together, he did. Over the next few years, I began to see miracles in my body. I began to experience freedom from fears and issues that I had had for a long time. I can look back now and I can see how everything that God allowed me to go through has brought me to a place where I know him in a way that I don't think I would have had I not experienced those things. My mom had told me for years that when you can't see his hand, you trust his heart. And that's something that I feel like even to this day, I lean on more and more. My life is not where I would have liked it to be. It's been 11 years since I first got sick, but I have been progressively getting better. I feel like the things that God has poured into me, I know he also must have a future for me. Like I don't think that he would have taught me the things about himself and shown me the things about himself if it wasn't for a reason. And I don't have the answers that I want, but I lean on the trusting his heart. And I believe that at some point we will look back and we will also see his hand. I can be grateful for the road that God has allowed me to walk down. And I can see how it is going to bring me into where he wants me to go. I was once broken, but with Jesus, I have hope.